Imagine walking through a graveyard where shadows move on their own, whispers echo in the wind, and ghostly figures appear and vanish in a blink. These aren't scenes from a horror movie, this is real life in Queensland's most haunted cemeteries. From restless miners to grieving mothers, the spirits of the past may still be watching. Dare to uncover the chilling secrets buried beneath the soil? Stay close, some stories refuse to stay dead. If you love true ghost stories and haunted history, hit that subscribe button, because the next chilling tale might be closer than you think. Story number 1: Toowong Cemetery, Brisbane. Toowong Cemetery is one of the oldest and most well-known cemeteries in Queensland, located just outside the city of Brisbane. It opened in 1875 and has over 120,000 people buried there, including politicians, war heroes, and early settlers. The cemetery covers around 44 hectares and is built on a hill, surrounded by tall trees and winding paths. While it's a place of history and reflection during the day, many people believe that it becomes something much darker at night. For many years, people have shared stories about strange happenings inside Toowong Cemetery. Some visitors say they've heard whispers in the wind, footsteps behind them when no one is there, or even seen shadowy figures move between the graves. These sightings are often reported around the oldest sections of the cemetery, where the graves date back to the 1800s. Some people believe these spirits are still restless and wandering. One of the most well-known ghost stories involves a woman in black who is often seen crying near a particular grave. Some say she appears in the early hours of the morning, and when people approach her, she disappears. Another tale speaks of a glowing figure that walks along the upper pathways late at night. Several paranormal investigators have visited Toowong Cemetery with special equipment to try and capture evidence of ghosts. While not all of them found proof, a few say they recorded unusual voices or picked up cold spots that couldn't be explained. Toowong Cemetery also has a darker history that may add to its haunted reputation. In the early days, grave robbing was not uncommon. There were even rumors of secret burials and unmarked graves. During the 1918 Spanish flu pandemic, many people were buried quickly and without ceremony, which some believe could leave spirits feeling unsettled. The cemetery also has a section for children, which many visitors find deeply emotional. Some people report hearing the sound of children laughing or crying, even when no one is around. Despite the eerie stories, Toowong Cemetery is still open to the public and is a popular place for guided ghost tours. These tours are held at night and explore the most haunted parts of the cemetery. The guides share true stories of the people buried there, along with the ghost sightings connected to them. The tours are meant to be respectful and informative, but many guests leave feeling a chill they can't quite explain. Many locals believe that Toowong Cemetery is truly haunted, while others think the stories are just part of its history and charm. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, there's no doubt that Toowong Cemetery holds many secrets from the past. With its mix of old graves, quiet paths, and mysterious atmosphere, it continues to attract both history lovers and ghost hunters alike. It remains one of Queensland's most haunted and talked about places. Story number 2: Lutwyche Cemetery, Brisbane. Lutwyche Cemetery is another old and well-known cemetery in Queensland, located in the northern suburbs of Brisbane. It was established in 1878 and has been the final resting place for thousands of people, including war veterans, community leaders, and everyday residents. Surrounded by trees and set in a quiet neighborhood, the cemetery seems peaceful during the day, but some visitors say it becomes eerie and unsettling after dark. Over the years, many strange stories have come from people who visited Lutwyche Cemetery at night or during early morning hours. Some have reported hearing soft whispers or feeling like someone is watching them, even when the cemetery appears empty. Others claim to have seen shadowy figures move near the gravestones or caught glimpses of white shapes in the corner of their eyes. These experiences have led many people to believe that Lutwyche Cemetery is haunted by spirits who haven't fully passed on. One of the more common ghost sightings at Lutwyche involves a tall man dressed in an old-fashioned military uniform. Witnesses say he stands near the war grave section and seems to vanish when approached. Some believe he may be the spirit of a soldier who died during World War I or World War II and was never properly remembered. The cemetery has many graves of servicemen and women, which could explain why people feel a strong emotional presence in that area. Another part of Lutwyche Cemetery that many people talk about is the children's section. This area holds the graves of young children and infants, and it's often described as the saddest part of the cemetery. Some visitors have said they heard the soft sound of crying or laughter, even though no children were nearby. Others have found toys or flowers moved without explanation. People who believe in the paranormal say these could be signs that the spirits of the children are still present and trying to make contact. There are also reports of sudden cold spots, where the air becomes freezing for a moment, even on a warm night. Paranormal investigators say this is often a sign of ghost activity. A few people have taken photos at Lutwyche Cemetery that appear to show strange mist, lights, or faces that weren't seen at the time. While skeptics believe these can be explained by camera issues or tricks of the light, others believe they are real signs of spirits. Lutwyche Cemetery is still an active cemetery, and many families visit to pay respect to their loved ones. It is also visited by historians and ghost tour groups who are curious about its spooky reputation. Some local paranormal groups have done investigations there, using voice recorders and other tools to try and pick up sounds or images that can't be explained. A few of them say they captured strange voices or responses when they asked questions aloud, which they believe were from spirits trying to communicate. Whether or not you believe in ghosts, Lutwyche Cemetery has a long and emotional history. The quiet paths, old graves, and stories passed down through the years have made it a place of mystery. For some, it's simply a peaceful place to remember the past. But for others, it's a place where the past might still be reaching out in ways we don't fully understand. Story number 3: South Brisbane Cemetery, Dutton Park. South Brisbane Cemetery, also known as Dutton Park Cemetery, is one of the oldest cemeteries in Brisbane, Queensland. It was officially opened in 1866 and has been used for over 150 years. Located near the Brisbane River and surrounded by thick trees, this cemetery is the final resting place for thousands of people, including early settlers, war heroes, and even criminals. The atmosphere here is calm during the day, but at night, it becomes a place full of mystery and ghost stories. Many people who have visited South Brisbane Cemetery claim to have experienced strange things. Some have heard footsteps behind them, even though no one else was around. Others talk about cold spots where the temperature suddenly drops for no reason. A few visitors say they've seen strange shadows or figures moving between the headstones. Some of these figures are said to vanish when you look directly at them, adding to the fear and curiosity people feel in this place. One of the most well-known ghost stories at South Brisbane Cemetery involves a woman in white. People say she walks slowly through the older sections of the cemetery, often near graves from the 1800s. No one knows exactly who she is, but many believe she could be a grieving widow or a woman who died tragically. Some have claimed to hear her crying quietly at night. When they go closer, she disappears into the dark. The cemetery is also home to the graves of many prisoners who were executed at nearby Bago Road Jail, a now closed and very haunted prison. It's believed that some of the spirits from the prison may have followed the bodies to the cemetery. Paranormal groups who have visited both the prison and the cemetery say there's a strong connection between the two. Some have picked up strange voices on recorders or felt a heavy presence in certain parts of the cemetery. Another chilling part of the cemetery is the children's section. Visitors have reported hearing faint laughter or crying, especially during the early morning hours. Others have found small toys or flowers that appear to have been moved, even though no one else was nearby. Many people feel a deep sense of sadness in this part of the cemetery, and some believe the spirits of children still linger there, trying to be noticed. South Brisbane Cemetery is a popular spot for ghost tours and paranormal investigations. These tours are usually held at night and explore the history of the cemetery along with the stories of ghosts and hauntings. Guides tell true stories of those buried there, some of whom died in tragic or mysterious ways. While not everyone sees or hears something during the tour, many people say they leave with a strange feeling they can't explain. Despite the ghost stories, South Brisbane Cemetery is a peaceful and important part of Brisbane's history. It holds the memories of thousands of lives and gives us a glimpse into the city's past. But the strange sounds, cold spots, and unexplained sightings make many people believe it's one of the most haunted cemeteries in Queensland. Whether you're interested in history or the paranormal, this cemetery continues to attract curious visitors from all around. Story number 4: Ipswich General Cemetery, Ipswich. Ipswich General Cemetery is one of the oldest cemeteries in Queensland, located in the city of Ipswich, about 40 minutes from Brisbane. It was officially opened in 1868 and is still used today. Many important people from Ipswich's history are buried here, including early settlers, soldiers, and local leaders. The cemetery is large, with old gravestones, big trees, and narrow paths that give it a quiet and sometimes spooky feeling. During the day, it looks peaceful, but at night, the atmosphere changes, and many people believe it is haunted. Over the years, visitors and locals have reported many strange experiences at Ipswich General Cemetery. Some say they've heard voices when no one was around, while others have felt like they were being watched. A few people have seen shadowy figures moving between the graves or felt cold air suddenly, even on warm nights. These reports have led many to believe that spirits may still be present in the cemetery. One of the most talked about stories involves a woman in a long black dress who is seen near the older graves. People say she looks sad and appears to be searching for something or someone. When people try to get closer to her, she disappears. Some believe she may have lost a child or husband long ago and still visits their grave. Her appearance has been reported several times, especially on quiet, foggy nights. The cemetery also has a section where children are buried, and this area is often mentioned in ghost stories. Visitors say they've heard the sound of children laughing or crying when the cemetery is empty. Others have seen small toys moved or placed differently from one visit to the next. This makes some people believe that the spirits of the children are still active and trying to make their presence known. Ipswich General Cemetery is also linked to the nearby historic Ipswich Mental Hospital, which once treated many patients with mental health issues. In the past, people who died there were sometimes buried in unmarked graves at the cemetery. Some people believe that the spirits of those patients are restless because they were forgotten or not properly laid to rest. Paranormal investigators who have explored the cemetery say they have picked up strange sounds and energy, especially in the older and unmarked sections. Because of these stories, Ipswich General Cemetery has become a popular place for ghost tours and paranormal events. These tours usually happen at night and share both the history of the cemetery and the ghost stories connected to it. Some people join just for fun, while others hope to experience something supernatural. Many guests say they feel cold spots, hear unexplained noises, or even capture strange shapes in their photos. Even with all the ghost stories, Ipswich General Cemetery is also a place of deep history. It tells the story of Ipswich and the people who built the town. Many of the gravestones are beautifully made and show the love and respect of the families who placed them there. The cemetery is still used for burials today, and many families visit to remember their loved ones. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the quiet and sometimes chilling atmosphere of Ipswich General Cemetery makes it one of Queensland's most mysterious and talked about places. With its long history, ghost sightings, and emotional stories, it continues to attract both history lovers and those searching for something more. Story number 5: Gympie Cemetery, Gympie. Gympie Cemetery is located in the town of Gympie, in Queensland, Australia. It has been around since the late 1800s and holds the graves of many early settlers, miners, war veterans, and families who helped shape the town's history. Gympie was once a booming gold mining town, and many people came here during the gold rush in search of a better life. But life was hard in those days, and many people died young from accidents, illness, or mining disasters. Because of this, the cemetery is full of old graves and headstones that tell stories of both hope and tragedy. Over time, Gympie Cemetery has become known not just for its history but also for its ghost stories. People who live nearby and visitors have shared strange experiences, especially during the early morning or at night. Some say they have heard whispers in the wind or footsteps behind them, even when they were alone. Others have seen shadowy figures moving between the graves or standing still before fading away. These stories have led many people to believe that the cemetery might be haunted. One of the most famous ghost stories connected to Gympie Cemetery is about a woman dressed in old-fashioned clothes who is seen near the graves from the 1800s. Some believe she is the ghost of a miner's wife who died young and is still searching for her husband. Others think she may have lost her children and returns to their graves to watch over them. People have reported seeing her late at night, standing still and silent, before suddenly disappearing. There is also talk about strange lights that appear at night. A few visitors have seen glowing orbs floating above the ground or near certain headstones. Paranormal investigators who have studied the area believe these lights could be a sign of ghostly energy. Some have used special equipment and say they've recorded unexplained voices or strange cold spots that can't be explained by the weather. Gympie has a strong connection to mining history, and this adds to the stories of restless spirits. Many miners who died in accidents were buried quickly, and some graves are unmarked or have faded over time. People believe that some of these souls may not be at peace, especially if they died suddenly or tragically. There are also stories of children's graves being visited by unseen figures, and some people say they've heard soft crying in that part of the cemetery. Today, the cemetery is open to the public, and many people visit during the day to learn about Gympie's history. The headstones tell of lives lived during a very different time, and walking through the cemetery feels like stepping back in history. Some locals take care of the older graves and work to preserve the site. But at night, the place takes on a different mood. Some brave visitors come looking for ghosts, and a few even claim to have taken photos that show faces or figures that weren't visible in person. Whether or not you believe in ghosts, Gympie Cemetery is a place filled with emotion, memory, and mystery. Its long history, sad stories, and unusual events make it one of the most talked about haunted cemeteries in Queensland. It reminds us that the past is never too far away, and sometimes, it might even reach out to those who visit. Story number 6: Maryborough Cemetery, Maryborough. Maryborough Cemetery is located in the historic town of Maryborough in Queensland, Australia. It is one of the oldest cemeteries in the state, with burials dating back to the mid-1800s. The cemetery is large and filled with thousands of graves, many of them belonging to early settlers, war veterans, children, and important community members. It has a calm and quiet appearance during the day, but many people believe that it becomes spooky and haunted when night falls. The cemetery is known for its beautiful but old headstones, many of which are worn down by time. Some graves are well maintained, while others have broken stones or have been taken over by grass and weeds. The cemetery also includes sections for different religious and cultural groups, which reflect the town's diverse population over the years. Walking through Maryborough Cemetery is like walking through history, but that history comes with many sad and mysterious stories. Over the years, many locals and visitors have reported strange events in the cemetery. Some people have said they saw figures moving in the distance, only for those figures to disappear when approached. Others have heard footsteps behind them or soft whispers, even when no one else was nearby. Cold spots, where the air suddenly feels much colder than the rest of the area, are also often reported. These are classic signs that people believe point to ghostly activity. One of the most talked about ghost stories from Maryborough Cemetery is about a young girl who is said to appear near the children's section. Visitors have described seeing her standing quietly, looking down at the graves. Some people believe she may be the spirit of a child who died during one of the disease outbreaks in the 1800s. A few people have claimed to hear a soft giggle or crying sound, even though no children were around. These reports have been shared for many years, adding to the belief that her spirit still lingers. Another common story involves the figure of a man dressed in old-style clothing, possibly from the 19th century. He is said to walk slowly between the graves at night, especially in the older sections of the cemetery. People who have seen him say he looks sad and often disappears without making a sound. Some believe he may have lost his family or died suddenly and now walks the cemetery, unable to find peace. Paranormal investigators have also shown interest in Maryborough Cemetery. Some groups have visited with equipment like voice recorders and electromagnetic sensors to try to detect ghostly activity. A few say they recorded strange sounds, like whispers or footsteps, and one group even claimed to have caught a faint voice saying a name. These findings are not officially proven, but they have made the cemetery even more famous for being haunted. Despite its spooky reputation, Maryborough Cemetery is still a place of respect and remembrance. Families visit to take care of graves, place flowers, and remember their loved ones. The cemetery is also popular with history lovers, who come to learn about the town's past. Some guided tours even include stories of the cemetery's hauntings, attracting both tourists and locals who are curious about the unknown. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, Maryborough Cemetery is a place that leaves a strong impression. Its quiet paths, old headstones, and ghost stories make it one of the most talked about haunted cemeteries in Queensland. It reminds visitors that even in silence, the past can still speak. Story number 7: Cooktown Cemetery, Cooktown. Cooktown Cemetery is located in the town of Cooktown, in far north Queensland, Australia. It is one of the oldest cemeteries in the region, with burials dating back to the late 1800s. The cemetery reflects the town's rich and sometimes tragic history, especially during the gold rush period when people from all over the world came to Cooktown looking for fortune. Many people who came to the area faced harsh conditions, disease, and violence. As a result, the cemetery became the final resting place for a mix of miners, settlers, Chinese immigrants, sailors, and even explorers. The cemetery is set in a quiet area surrounded by tropical trees and plants. It has a mix of European-style headstones, Chinese grave markers, and simple wooden crosses. Some of the graves are well kept, while others are broken or have been taken over by nature. The mix of cultures and the age of the cemetery give it a very mysterious and sometimes eerie feeling, especially in the early morning or after sunset. Over the years, many locals and visitors have reported strange and unexplained experiences in Cooktown Cemetery. Some say they have heard voices or footsteps, even when no one else was around. Others have seen misty shapes or figures that appear near the older graves and then vanish. There have also been reports of people feeling sudden cold spots or being overwhelmed by a strong sense of sadness or fear when walking through certain parts of the cemetery. One of the most well-known ghost stories linked to the cemetery is about a young Chinese man who died during the gold rush period. People say he was far from home and may have died under tragic circumstances. Visitors claim to have seen a quiet figure standing near the Chinese graves at night, dressed in traditional clothing. When approached, the figure slowly fades away. Some believe he is still waiting to be reunited with his family or spirit guides from his homeland. The cemetery also has graves of children who died during times of disease outbreaks, such as typhoid and influenza. This part of the cemetery is often described as the most emotional and heavy. People have reported hearing soft crying or the sound of children laughing when no one is nearby. A few visitors have seen small toys moved from one grave to another without explanation. These experiences make many believe that the spirits of children may still be present, searching for comfort. There have been paranormal investigations at Cooktown Cemetery, mostly by small local groups. Some have claimed to record strange noises or ghostly voices. Others have felt that their equipment behaved oddly, like batteries draining quickly or lights flashing on their own. These are often seen as signs that spirits may be trying to communicate. Cooktown Cemetery is also an important historical site. It tells the story of Cooktown's past, the dreams and struggles of those who came to this wild and remote place in search of a better life. The different sections of the cemetery show how diverse the town once was, with people from all parts of the world coming together, even in death. It is still visited by families and history lovers, and efforts are being made to protect and restore the older graves. Whether or not someone believes in ghosts, there is no doubt that Cooktown Cemetery has a powerful and emotional presence. The combination of its history, cultural diversity, and the many stories of unexplained events make it one of Queensland's most haunted and fascinating cemeteries. It is a place where the past feels very close and where some souls may not yet have found peace. Story number 8: Townsville West End Cemetery, Townsville. Townsville West End Cemetery is one of the oldest cemeteries in Townsville, Queensland. It was established in the 1860s and holds the graves of many of the city's earliest residents. The cemetery is located in the suburb of West End and has been a resting place for thousands of people over more than 150 years. It includes graves of pioneers, soldiers, miners, children, and people from different cultural backgrounds, including Aboriginal Australians, Europeans, Chinese immigrants, and South Sea Islanders. Because of its age and the number of tragic and untold stories connected to it, many people believe that this cemetery is haunted. The cemetery has a quiet and peaceful appearance during the day, but many visitors have said that it feels completely different at night. Some people have reported hearing strange sounds like footsteps, soft whispers, or even crying when no one else was around. Others have felt sudden drops in temperature or felt like they were being watched. These unexplained experiences have led many to believe that spirits may still be present in the cemetery, especially in the oldest sections. One of the most common ghost stories connected to West End Cemetery is about a woman in white who is said to walk among the graves late at night. People say she appears near the graves of children and seems to be searching for someone. When people try to approach her, she disappears into the darkness. Some believe she could be a mother who lost her child and now returns to the cemetery in spirit, looking for peace. Others believe she might be someone who died tragically and was buried without closure. The cemetery also has a history of difficult times. In the past, Townsville faced outbreaks of diseases like typhoid and the Spanish flu. Many people died during these times and were buried quickly in the cemetery, sometimes without proper headstones. Some graves are unmarked or have only small markers that have worn away over time. These forgotten graves may hold spirits that people believe are restless or unsettled, adding to the stories of hauntings. There is also a section of the cemetery that holds the graves of war veterans. Some visitors have reported seeing a figure dressed in an old military uniform standing near this area. He is usually seen in the early morning or at dusk and disappears when approached. People think he could be the spirit of a soldier still watching over his fellow comrades or reliving moments from his past life. Local ghost hunters and paranormal groups have visited the cemetery to investigate these stories. Some have used voice recorders and cameras, claiming they captured strange sounds or lights that they could not explain. A few investigators said they heard names whispered or recorded words in old accents that didn't match modern voices. These findings have not been proven, but they have kept interest in the cemetery alive. Even though it is known for ghost stories, Townsville West End Cemetery is also a very important historical site. It tells the story of the city's beginnings and the people who helped build the community. There are many old headstones with touching messages and beautiful carvings. The cemetery is now protected as a heritage site, and efforts have been made to clean and restore damaged graves. Whether you are interested in history or the supernatural, Townsville West End Cemetery is a place that leaves a strong impression. With its quiet atmosphere, long history, and mysterious stories, it is considered one of the most haunted cemeteries in Queensland. For many, it is a place where the past still lives on, and sometimes, it might even reach out to the present. Story number 9: Rockhampton South Cemetery, Rockhampton. Rockhampton South Cemetery is one of the oldest burial grounds in central Queensland, located in the city of Rockhampton. It was opened in the 1860s and has been used for more than 150 years. The cemetery holds the graves of early settlers, farmers, gold miners, railway workers, and war veterans. Many of these people helped build the community during hard times. Because of its long and sometimes tragic history, Rockhampton South Cemetery is believed by many to be one of the most haunted places in the region. The cemetery is large and filled with rows of old and new graves. Some headstones are tall and carefully made, while others are small, broken, or forgotten. The area is surrounded by trees and has quiet paths running through it. During the day, the cemetery seems calm and peaceful, but many visitors have said that it feels very different at night. People have reported hearing strange noises like footsteps, whispering, or even crying when no one is around. Others have felt cold winds, even on warm nights, or sensed someone standing behind them when they were alone. One of the most well-known ghost stories from Rockhampton South Cemetery is about a young woman dressed in old-fashioned clothes. She is often seen near the older graves, especially those from the 1800s. People say she appears to be sad or lost and walks slowly between the headstones. A few visitors claim they tried to speak to her, but she disappeared before they could get close. Some believe she may have died suddenly or was buried in a grave without proper recognition. Others think she may be looking for a loved one buried nearby. There are also stories about ghostly children in the cemetery. The children's section has small graves, some dating back more than 100 years. Visitors have heard soft laughter, running footsteps, or even a baby crying faintly in the distance. Some people have found toys or flowers moved from one place to another without explanation. These events make many believe that the spirits of children might still be present, especially those who died during past outbreaks of illness or accidents. The cemetery is also connected to the area's railway and mining history. Many workers who died in accidents or from disease were buried here, sometimes in unmarked graves. Paranormal investigators believe that some of these souls may still be restless. A few investigators have used cameras, voice recorders, and ghost hunting tools to explore the site. Some say they have captured strange lights or recorded voices calling out names or words in old-style accents. Despite the ghost stories, Rockhampton South Cemetery is an important historical site. It holds the memory of generations of people who lived and died in the area. Local councils and historians work to preserve the graves and restore damaged headstones. Guided walks and heritage tours are sometimes offered, focusing on the cemetery's history rather than just the paranormal side. These tours help people learn about the lives of those buried there and the tough times they faced. Whether or not someone believes in ghosts, the stories from Rockhampton South Cemetery continue to attract visitors. Some come out of curiosity, others to connect with history, and a few to experience something unusual. With its quiet beauty, emotional past, and reports of unexplained events, the cemetery remains one of Queensland's most mysterious and talked about places. It reminds us that every grave has a story, and some of those stories may not be finished. Story number 10: Charters Towers Pioneer Cemetery. Charters Towers. Charters Towers Pioneer Cemetery is one of the most historic cemeteries in Queensland, located in the old gold mining town of Charters Towers. This cemetery was opened in the late 1800s, during the gold rush period when the town was booming with miners and settlers from around the world. Life in Charters Towers at that time was tough, and many people died young from mining accidents, diseases, or other hardships. The cemetery became the resting place for thousands of people, including men, women, and children who helped shape the town's early years. The cemetery is no longer used for new burials, but it remains a significant historical site. It is filled with old headstones, many of which are weathered, broken, or leaning. Some graves are clearly marked, while others have been forgotten or lost over time. Walking through the cemetery feels like stepping back into the 1800s. Some headstones have beautiful carvings and touching messages, while others are simple and quiet. The silence of the place, mixed with its age, gives it a deep and mysterious feeling. Many people believe that the Pioneer Cemetery is haunted. Visitors and locals have shared stories of unusual experiences there, especially around sunset or at night. Some people say they've seen strange lights or shadowy figures moving between the graves. Others have heard soft whispers, cries, or even the sound of footsteps when no one else is nearby. A few visitors have said they felt sudden chills or the sense that someone was standing right behind them, even though they were alone. One of the most common ghost stories from Charters Towers Pioneer Cemetery is about a miner who died in an accident underground. People say his spirit never left and that he is sometimes seen wandering the cemetery in old mining clothes, carrying a lantern. He is said to walk slowly through the graves as if searching for something or someone. Some believe he may be looking for his lost mates or still trying to find peace after a tragic death. There are also reports of a woman in a long dress who appears near the graves of children. People believe she may be a mother who lost her children to disease or during a hard time in the town's past. Visitors have reported hearing soft crying or seeing toys moved near the children's section. These experiences make many think that not all spirits in the cemetery are at rest. Paranormal investigators have visited the cemetery over the years. Some have used cameras, recorders, and other tools to try to capture ghost activity. A few claim they have recorded voices or strange noises that could not be explained. Others say their equipment acted strangely, like batteries draining quickly or lights flashing without reason. These signs are often believed to be caused by spiritual energy. Even with all the ghost stories, Charters Towers Pioneer Cemetery is a place of respect and remembrance. It shows the tough lives and strong spirits of the people who lived during the gold rush. The cemetery is now protected as a heritage site, and efforts are made to maintain it and share its history with visitors. People come from all over to learn about the town's past and to pay respects to those who came before. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the Charters Towers Pioneer Cemetery is a powerful place. Its long history, emotional stories, and mysterious atmosphere make it one of the most haunted cemeteries in Queensland. It's a reminder of the lives lived, the struggles faced, and the stories that may still be waiting to be told.